Now guys, check out this baby. This is actually a prototype dehumidifier. It's a Meaco DD8L Zambezi dehumidifier. One of 5 made, one of 5 handmade prototypes. And Meaco was very kind to send me this before the Zambezis actually went into production. So I've had this fellow for a while, and my thoughts of it. I think it's the benchmark dehumidifier, probably in the world. It's great. In fact, it's got so many features that I won't be able to cover all of the features in this video. But if you scroll down, there's a link. Just click on the link and you can read all about the features. Like it's got 6 features which have never been seen on a dehumidifier previously. And it's actually a very powerful unit too. I actually have a Meaco DD8L compact myself, which is a desiccant dehumidifier, just like the Zambezi. And it has 8 liters extraction as well, but because this fellow has a larger condenser, it's actually more powerful. And I actually noticed the Zambezi was more powerful than the compact, even without using a damp meter. You can just notice how powerful it is. So it's actually excellent value for money. But both the Meaco DD8L compact and the Zambezi are very energy efficient too. They both contain Meaco's control logic energy saving technology. So basically what happens if you set the dehumidifier to work down to 50% humidity, it works and works and works and works and brings the humidity down to 50%. What happens then is the unit turns itself off for half an hour. So you're not using any electricity. And then it turns itself back on in fan mode for 5 minutes. Just to sense the air. If the humidity level has risen, it'll work to bring the humidity back down. And once the humidity is back down to 50%, the machine will stop working for half an hour once more before it goes in fan mode to check the humidity once more. If the humidity has stayed the same at 50% or less, then the humidifier turns itself off after 5 minutes. After scanning the air, and it'll rest for another half an hour before testing the air in fan mode once more for 5 minutes. So basically, once the humidity level drops and it stays the same, then this unit, the Zambezi and the compact, are only working in a very low fan mode for 10 minutes out of every hour, and that's all automated. You can just plug it in and just leave the work away. So they're automated dehumidifiers, very energy efficient. Now it's called a Meaco Zambezi because Africa, and if I'll just go up here, you can see that on the control panel there's a nice picture of an elephant. Because what Meaco has done, I'll just put it up there. What Meaco has done, they've actually agreed with the David Shepherd Wildlife Foundation that for every sale of the Zambezi, £2 will be donated to the Wildlife Foundation to help save elephants in the wild. So it's actually a very good cause. So let's just get back to the dehumidifier itself. It has a lovely 3 liter water tank, which pops in and out. The tank has a lid. It just has a lid, and it also has a see-through panel here, so you can see the water level. So you're able to empty the tank before it gets full. Because what happens when water tanks get full is the humidifiers turn themselves off, so they don't operate anymore, and that's just to avoid spillage and stuff. So it's always handy just to empty it before the tank is full. This tank actually, now this is like Meaco. Meaco are like the leaders of the dehumidifier industry in the UK. This tank actually has got a anti-mold coating on it, so that once you take this dehumidifier away and you put it in storage, sometimes your tank might be a bit wet and you actually find mold in the water tank. But what Meaco have done very cleverly is to put a anti-mold film on the inside. That way you won't get mold on the water tank. So very smart, very smart. There's also a continuous drain function. So if you want to use this unit in garages or sheds or studios or just places where you're not too often, you can just leave it on. Remember, it has the control logic energy saving technology, so it'll just work away itself. And the hose, the continuous drainage hose, you can just put into a drain or a sink. So it's very good. It's very good. So I talked about the condenser already. Just some of the other interesting features. Most dehumidifiers have got a laundry mode for drying laundry inside. Same with the Zambezi, but there's a twist, an energy saving twist. When you put this unit into laundry mode, it works away at full belt. I think it uses 660 watts in full power, which is maybe about 6 or 7 pence per hour. So it's a very cheap alternative to a tumble dryer. But it'll work and work and work and work and work and bring the humidity down to 35%. Once the humidity reaches 35%, the power usage falls to 300 watts. Which is a feature not seen before on any other dehumidifier. Normally they just keep working and working and working, and they just keep working and bring the humidity right down. But 35% is a very dry air, so dropping it down, dropping the power consumption down to 300 watts is a excellent feature. So the filter. This is your hole for your drainage hose. This is your filter. I'll just see if it's this is your filter here. It's a antibacterial filter. I'll make a separate video to take it out and stuff. It's just there's a lot of information to go over here. So the filter is a antibacterial filter and it works well with the ioniser. The Zambezi, you see the handle here, it's nice and handy, and the unit only weighs about 8 kilos, I think, or it's light. But I'll just make sure that's in view. The ioniser, most ioniser on the humidifiers reach out maybe a meter or a meter and a half, so they only operate in a limited area. The ioniser on the Zambezi reaches out 10 meters, so it covers a very large area. So the ioniser and the antibacterial filter will work to make a very clear air, clean air, clean. So that's handy for people with who suffer from asthma or other respiratory problems. It just helps to make breathing easier. So I was talking about laundry mode before, how it's efficient. There's a adjustable lever up here, and then all of the hot air blows out on the laundry itself. And there's 3 fan speeds actually, each one progressively stronger than the other, until you're in laundry mode and you're using 660 watts. So I'll just show you the control panel as well. This is the Zambezi control panel. You have your branding here and the elephant, like I said before. This is your digital display and the name here, and this is your control panel on off. And then these buttons move things around on the control panel. I'll have to make a separate video for this because it's fairly detailed. But once you're used to it, it's simple. When you buy this unit, I'd say sit down, read the instruction book for 1 or 2 or 3 minutes, just to find out how the control panel works. And then it's easy, and then you know. One of the other features on the Meaco Zambezi is the timer. Actually, this is one of my favorite features. Normally with the humidifiers, when you set a timer, you have to press the button 2 hours, and then you press the button start, and then when you press the button, it starts operating for 2 hours before it cuts off. The timing system on this is fairly advanced. There's 2 parts. One is you can set the timer once, and it will work at the same time each day. For example, I can set it for 3 p.m. to, or say maybe something a bit more realistic, early in the morning maybe. I can set it to at 6 a.m. maybe. So it comes on from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. But I only have to set it once, and it comes on each day. So that would be helpful for taking the condensation of the windows. The other part of the timer is that you can set it once, and you can also set it to come on in the future, which is basically a unheard of feature. Also, what happens is you can just leave this fellow plugged in the wall, and then when you can set a humidity level, and then once it reaches that humidity level, it'll beep. I think it's 60% or something. It'll beep, and then it's so then you know to turn on the humidifier. So there's no guesswork involved when to use it. And also it's got a auto toggle feature for in remote areas, which is basically like your control logic technology. So for example, if you're using it in boats and sheds and stuff, it'll work once the humidity rises above a certain level, and then turn off below a certain level. So I can see my video is getting a bit long for YouTube. As I said, there's so many features on this. It's such a great machine, very powerful, more powerful than the DD8L Compact, due to the larger condenser at the back. And it works a treat. The only thing is, when you buy it, just to sit down with the instruction booklet for 1 or 2 or 3 minutes, find out how the control panel works, and then you're away. And I dare say you will not regret buying this dehumidifier. And soon I'll make a few more Meaco Zambezi videos, just to show you the features, such as how to take out a filter and things like that. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to scroll down and check out the link below for a in-depth review, and subscribe and like. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. Okay guys, thanks.